Nagpapatuloy po ang confirmation hearing kay Justice Secretary Laila De Lima. Panoorin po natin ito.
No, Your Honor. I have not issued any watch list order against the 3 senators.
So, is it safe for me to travel?
Yes, Your Honor. Very safe for you to travel anytime.
You
for
won't
as long
bar
as
me
there
from
is
leaving
no
the country?
order yet.
You won't
from the
bar me from
Sandigan
leaving the
Bayan.
country?
Not at all. I never prevented you. You even asked permission from me.
No,
Out
now
of courtesy?
that the charges has already been filed before the Sandigan Bayan.
There
Am
is
I
no
still free to
HDO
leave?
yet. There is no HDO yet from the Sandigan Bayan, and there is no warrant of arrest yet. There
Yes,
is no legal impediment
But
for
if,
any one of you to
You're
leave.
going to issue a watch list order for me not to leave the country. How can I leave?
I cannot issue a watch list order now, Your Honor, because of the subsisting TRO from the Supreme Court. That has been our predicament, Your Honor. There have been many occasions where certain interested parties have been asking me to issue watch list order, but I cannot do so because I have been restrained or enjoined by the Supreme Court because that particular petition has not been disposed of yet by the Supreme Court. I'm powerless to issue any.
Can you give me an advice, Madam Nominee? Kung gaano ko pwedeng matagal mawala sa bansa?
Ano po?
Kung gaano ko pwedeng lumabas ng bansa?
It's not for me to give that advice, Your Honor. It's up to you.
But I can freely leave.
Where you want to go and the purpose of your travel. But as I said, in the absence of an HDO, in the absence of a warrant of arrest, you are free to leave. Because a warrant of arrest is effectively an HDO.
But don't worry, ma'am. I do not have any intentions of leaving the country for now.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, what is this lookout order? Is a lookout order and watch list order different?
Different po.
Pwede niyo ba explain sa amin?
Lookout order po is just a I just thought of that when I was restrained by the Supreme Court with respect to the issuance of WLO and
That
HDO.
was your own creation, madam?
Yes, Your Honor. Lookout bulletin.
Lookout bulletin.
Yes, Your Honor. It's simply that.
What is the effect? What is the effect of this lookout? You just look. Ganun ba yun?
It's a mere communication tool. Let me explain, Your Honor. As I said, I thought of it as an essential communication tool. In the meantime, that we are powerless to issue any WLO or any HDO with respect to anyone subject of criminal investigation or subject of criminal cases. Now, Lookout Bulletin is a communication tool in the sense that, for example, Mr. X is a respondent in a criminal case pending before the National Prosecution Service, a respondent. Now, when a private complainant or when the prosecutor asks for a respondent to be placed under a lookout bulletin, then I exercise my discretion whether or not to so place him or her under the lookout bulletin. Not for the purpose of preventing that subject, but so that at the time that he or she appears at the airport to leave the country, what the BI official or personnel can do is to advise us that the subject person is right there in the airport leaving or about to leave the country. What we do upon receiving such advice is to check the very status of that particular case. Kasi pwede rin pong nangyayari at nagkaroon na rin po ng actual experience dyan na nung inabisuhan po kami ng BI na a particular respondent who is a subject of a lookout bulletin order is about to leave. Nung chinek ho namin, meron na ho palang in-issue na warrant of arrest. So having been informed about that, na kaka-issue lang ng judge ng warrant of arrest, and yung tao na yan ay aalis na, then my next step was to inform the NBI, go to the airport, and serve the warrant of arrest against that respondent. So ganun lang po yun. Pero kung at that time aalis po ang isang subject ng LBO, lookout bulletin order, ay wala naman impediment for us to arrest or impediment for us to prevent his departure kasi wala pang warrant of arrest, pinapayagan ho yan. Hindi ho namin yan pinipigilan because wala pong basehan and it will be violative of his or her rights.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Nominee. Ako ba ho, nilagay niyo na ho sa lookout order?
Wala po.
Bakit ho, when I just left recently, you knew where I went to?
Because po, yung BI po namin, medyo, of course, they're responsible people and they know na kasama nga po kayo sa mga kaso. Kahit walang lookout bulletin, they felt it's their duty to report to me that you are about to leave or has left the country, just for information purposes.
But the second time I left for the United States. As I mentioned during the last hearing, the immigration officials called my office and you were fuming mad at them because they did not inform you that I left the country.
Sorry po, I think you have a wrong information. I was not fuming mad at all. Yes, I got the information.
But you questioned why they did not advise you that I left.
I just asked, bakit ngayon lang sinabi? Why was there no prior or there was no information relayed to me at the very time that you were at the airport? Ganun lang po yun, information lang po. Kailangan lang po pong malaman na paalis po.
Kung nalaman nyo kung nasabi ng immigration official na paalis na si Senator Estrada, papunta rito, papunta rin sa Amerika, papunta sa Hong Kong or wherever, anong gagawin ninyo?
Wala po.
Wala pa rin kayo gagawin. Bakit kayo nagagalit doon sa immigration official na hindi po nagsabi na ako'y paalis ng bansa?
Hindi
wala
po
rin pala kayong gagawin. Hindi nyo rin pala ako harangin. Ba't pa kayo kailangan magalit sa mga immigration officials? Kawawa naman po yung mga tao.
Naging inconsistent ho kasi sila. Kasi nung meron naman ho talaga, nire-report naman po talaga nila sa akin ang mga ganyan. So, nung sa inyo po, yung pangalawa nyo nga pong pag-alis, I was wondering how come no one thought of informing me.
Kawawa naman ho yung mga taong may ibang kaso na hindi naman kilala ng mga immigration officials. Hindi ho ma-report sa inyo. Nagkataon lang ho na kilala po ako ng mga immigration officials. Kaya siguro minsan minsan nare-report sa inyo kaagad.
I-report lang po sa akin ng BI ay yung mga nasa LBO. Kayo po, kahit wala kayo sa LBO, since you are a high-profile personality and everybody knows you po, then they can always report to me.
Well, anyway, I will yield first to Senator Cayetano, since Senator Cayetano has reserved his right to question the nominee.
Estrada, thank you. But before I recognize...
before that, one question. Madam Nominee, when are you going to investigate the Malumpaya fund scam?
Na-file na po namin yan sa Ombudsman. Although ongoing pa rin po ang case build-up. Because kami po, as investigators, as fact-finders, we do not stop with our case build-up, even if a case has been filed already with the Ombudsman. It's with the Ombudsman already, specifically with the Field Investigation Office of the Office of the Ombudsman. Pero wala pa po yan sa
Sino yung mga
preliminary.
respondents doon?
Several po.
Any legislators involved?
None.
No legislators
No
involved?
legislator.
Who are the private individuals who were involved?
May I refer to
Please.
the record, sir? Ito po ang mga respondents per the complaint of the NBI, the letter transmittal of the NBI. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, former Executive Secretary Eduardo Ermita, former Agrarian Reform Secretary Nacer Pangandaman, former Agrarian Reform Undersecretary Narciso Nieto, former Director of the DAR Finance and Management Service and OIC, Undersecretary of the DAR Finance Management Administration Office, Teresita Panlilio, presently OIC of the Presidential Agrarian Reform Council Secretariat, former Budget and Management Secretary, now Congressman Rolando Andaya Jr., Budget and Management Undersecretary Mario Relampagos, Candaba Mayor Rene Maglange, several officials and employees from the DAR, namely Angelita Cacananta, Nilda Bawi, Dominador Season Jr., Ronald Venancio, several Napoles NGO presidents and employees. Can I name them?
No more. I'll just interrupt
And
you.
also, of course, Janet Lim Napoles and Ruby Tuason.
All right. I thought you forgot to name Ruby Tuason as one of the respondents.
She's one of the respondents, Your Honor.
All right. Do you think, in your own opinion, she was already admitted to the Witness Protection Program with regard to the PDAF scam? Am I correct?
Yeah, she was already granted immunity
All right.
by the Office of the Ombudsman in the PDAF cases.
Correct.
Already.
I know
filed.
you do not have any power to grant immunity. The SOJ does not have any power. Am I correct?
I
It is
disagree.
only the Ombudsman?
I
Am I
disagree,
correct?
Your Honor.
All right.
Under the law, the WPP law, the Department of Justice, specifically the Secretary of Justice, who is the chief implementer of the WPP, has the power to cover or to cover a witness under a state witness, to admit an accused as a state witness. And when so, given that, the law effectively gives the accused immunity under the WPP law.
You mean to tell me that you have the power to admit a person under the WPP?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. In your own opinion, do you think Mrs. Tuason is qualified to be admitted under the WPP with regard to the Malampaya scam?
We have issued to Mrs. Tuason a provisional admission under WPP in the Malampaya case.
Excuse me, I didn't hear your first name.
Provisional admission
No.
as a state witness under the WPP in the Malampaya, just like in the PDAF. Pareho po, provisional admission lang yung binigay namin kay Mrs. Tuason sa PDAF and sa Malampaya, subject to the approval or the final approval and determination of the Ombudsman. So dun nga po sa PDAF, nagpasya na po ang Ombudsman, binigyan po siya ng immunity sa PDAF. Sa Malampaya po, ongoing pa po, ang pagkaalam ko, ongoing pa po ang evaluation ng Ombudsman dahil ongoing pa rin po yung kanilang evaluation ng complaint sa Malampaya. So if you're asking me, Your Honor, whether she is qualified, I can only answer with respect to the provisional admission. So there is a provisional determination by the Secretary of Justice of her qualification as a possible state witness. But we will be deferring to the final judgment of the Ombudsman in that regard.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Estrada. So I now recognize Senator Alan Peter Cayetano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Senator Estrada for yielding, and to our colleagues from the House of Representatives. Madam Secretary, magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga rin po, Senator Alan.
For the record, I'm generally supportive, Mr. Chair. As the Secretary has known that I have been supportive of all reform efforts she's been undertaken and by this administration. However, as a senator and as a lawyer and as a member of this commission, there are some concerns that I'd like to bring up. Ironically, it is the other side of the coin of Senator Estrada's concerns, no? Because I feel that we have put so much safeguards in the law that minsan nagiging inutil nga yung batas, no? For example, you've been discussing a while ago yung whole departure order. But wala pa akong nakikita na talagang nahuli ng whole departure order, because usually pag nag-HDO ka na, yung may pera at may kapasidad na lumayas, nakalayas na talaga. So in fact, people are demanding the opposite. That is there a system around the world or maybe in the US wherein, I think in the US, pag yung grand jury nag-meet na, even when they're investigating, they can already order a hold order, or now with the I know sometimes they try to go around the law now with the Homeland Security. Mas madali silang mag-no-fly or wag paalisin ng isang tao. Pero mabilis din yung remedyo ng tao na feel niya, na pakiramdam niya, agrabyado siya. If the person feels aggrieved, can run to the court right away to get that order lifted, no? But in our country, it seems baliktad. Let me mention another point before I allow you to answer or ask the chairman to allow you to answer, ma'am. The other night, I was watching television and nilabas yung mga bank accounts kasama kay Attorney Reyes, other people, and basically, nailabas na yung mga pera bago nilabas yung preservation order. So that's my question. After 4 years in or almost 4 years in the DOJ, will you be submitting to the two houses of Congress some proposals to make law enforcement and preservation of the properties or the alleged gains from illicit activities or illegal activities? And will you also be giving us a proposal, whether it's by law or whatever issuances, no, or will you just be fighting this out sa Supreme Court, kung paano nga mareremedyohan yung sitwasyon na imbis na mapadali trabaho nyo, diba, lumalaki. Even if we say that we have extradition treaties all around the world, still, it's very difficult, and then questions are raised and everything, no? So are these two concerns, no, yung making sure that the person that you have a reasonable ground to believe that you will have to arrest soon, and property that you have a reasonable ground to believe that should be preserved, will you be submitting proposals or ideas regarding this to us?
Certainly, Your Honor. So thank you for those questions. Talaga naman po, that's the whole point, is how to really have an more effective administration of criminal justice by the DOJ. Now, on the matter of the issuance of the HDO and WLO, I already submitted po proposed bills, draft bills. And one of those to whom I submitted our version of the bill is Senator T.G. Gingona. And because we do recognize that the department circular, the existing department circular, which is now the subject of the Supreme Court petition, and I hope I would not be, misconstrued as trying to influence the Supreme Court, but really the department circular has some flaws, has some deficiencies and defects, and therefore we submitted a proposed bill to address what we see are the defects in that department circular. Hindi po kasi mga naging masyadong clear yung standards with respect to the issuance of both HDO and WLO. And there might be some basis for some quarters to say that if the HDO and the WLO powers is given to a tyrannical SOJ and with the propensity to abuse his or her powers, baka nga ho ma-misuse ang powers na yan ng HDO, WLO. So we submitted a bill which addresses those points as some room for we address the loopholes that provide the criticisms against the department, the existing department circular. But the whole point is yung sinasabi niyo po, talaga naman ho, it's very frustrating on our part being the law enforcers and the prosecutors, to see subjects of ongoing criminal investigations and criminal cases at whatever stage, whether under PI or trial, na umaalis na lang with a clear purpose of evading the system. So we are trying to do that because I understand that some pending bills, for example, the one being proposed by Senator Miriam Santiago, is to completely divest or oust the Department of HDO and WLO powers and just transfer it to the courts. But we are trying to convince Senator Miriam. I had occasion to talk to her once about this subject matter, to come up with a middle ground position that even if it's just under the PI stage, we should be given that HDO WLO powers subject to clear standards, and for example, subject to periods that just to make sure na hindi rin nadidelay sa PI level para not to unnecessarily restrict the subject's right to travel. So we did submit that already.
Not to interrupt the Secretary,
Yes,
but
Your
I guess that I'm more than satisfied with your answer, and we'll probably discuss that in the committee at length. And I'd just like to put on the record, basically we're just talking about cases that are non-bailable. Because cases that are bailable anyway, once the case are filed against them, usually people who can afford or has the means to go abroad ask the court for permission. Best example is the Sandigan Bayan. No? Many who have cases in the Sandigan Bayan still go out in and out of the country, but there's a process where they have to ask permission. No? Pero dito sa mga kaso ng plunder, murder, etc., no? Serious illegal detention na non-bailable, no? Dun mo makikita usually yung nag-abscond or trying to leave the country or successfully leaving the country before then.
I'll be honored to furnish you a copy of our proposed bill, and that is one of the changes that we are limiting it to certain types of offenses.
Thank you for that, and maybe you can get also the executive secretary to certify it as urgent. Maybe the versions would vary, but then at least we know that the topic itself, as far as law enforcement is concerned, that the topic of the HDOs and the properties. No, but just to jump to the properties, ma'am. But even the existing law right now, no, even the laws that were used now to preserve the properties. Unang-una, nakikita ko ang trend sa law enforcement sa atin. Yung lang nasa pangalan ng mga accused ang hinohold. No, I mean, I'm comparing it, for example, to the RICO law in the US. No, number one, napakabilis. Basta't nagkaroon ng kaso, nakahold na lahat at dalawa lang ang binibigay dun sa akusado. No, money for his subsistence, meaning rent, kuryente, pagkain, and number two, legal fees. Legal, hindi illegal fees. Ha? So I mentioned that because we know all around the world, no, it's not only lawyers. Meron din PR, meron in the mafia cases of the old in the US, bribery was part of the process. That's why hindi legal fees yun, illegal fees yun. Precisely why the lawmakers in the US said, kailangan i-hold natin yan. Kasi hindi na totoo yung sinasabing people of the Philippines versus X versus Juan de la Cruz. Hindi na totoo na napakadehado ni Juan de la Cruz at napakayamado ni Republic of the Philippines or people of the United States, because when a specific person has so much resources, and these resources not only include money, but also information to bribe fiscals, judges, police, FBI officers, DEA officers, etc. So in the wisdom of the U.S. lawmakers, no, they passed the RICO law and several other laws later on yung sa anti-terrorism, wherein number one, yung money, hold na kaagad. Number two, pag sinususpect lang nila na may ebidensya sila na itong mga organization ay sumusuporta, halimbawa sa anti-terrorism, even yon pwede na nila i-hold yung pera. And then pagtingin nila dami corporations or dami hino-hold na rin nila. So when I was reviewing, for example, the list of properties kay Ms. Napoles, I saw that some of the properties na lumabas na sa TV were not covered by the order, no? And will this be included, no, in some of the proposals you'd like to make? But may I ask you also a secondary question there? Sa existing law ba natin, hindi ba pwedeng i-preserve na yung property kung alam ng DOJ na sa kanya yon pero tinago niya sa ibang mga pangalan?
Under existing laws, we are doing that already in conjunction or in coordination with AMLAC. AMLAC is the one doing this. But as you very well know, sir, the proceedings in the AMLAC or the actions being taken in the AMLAC are deemed to be confidential. But they, in fact, filed already a case with the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals had issued freeze order also on RTC. So AMLAC is represented by the Solicitor General. There is much room for improvement under existing AMLA, the AMLA law.
But I'll give you an example. A concrete example is Attorney Gigi Reyes. She left the country when the issue was burning hot sa media. She came back while the time that Ruby Tuason was testifying and the Napolis, etc. Then suddenly the other day when the order for preservation of her bank accounts was issued, ni-report sa late news ng Channel 2 that millions na ang na-withdraw in the meantime. So I'm not talking about her guilt or innocence. I'm just saying that assuming the court finds later na dapat bawiin tong pera na to, di bali na kung bahay nandiyan pa rin yan di ba? Or yung titulo ng bahay, assuming for example may mga bahay ngayon na suspetsya nyo kay Miss Napoles, even if hindi nyo orderan nyo na bawal ibenta, pwedeng ilagay sa titulo, di ba? You can know that this will be included in a case or that buyers beware, no? So pwede nyo pa rin habulin. Hindi katulad ng pera, once na na-withdraw na yan at wala na, paano mo pang hahanapin?
It would seem that there was no speedy action in respect to that. So there ought to be some mechanism where the AMLAC can speedily act on these matters. Because early on, we started coordinating already with AMLAC. There has been several meetings with the AMLAC. Our investigators were providing the AMLAC with these affidavits and other documentary evidence. And we even availed of mutual legal assistance with a foreign country. I cannot yet disclose that foreign country.
I'll be satisfied with that, Mr. Chair and Madam Secretary. My point lang is that let me express that while you have been showing the country many victories, there are also some legal handcuffs, no, on our agencies like the NBI, the CIDG, on the DOJ. And while we do need to put safeguards, no, on HDOs and put safeguards on preservation orders, etc. We also have to make sure that we do not defang our prosecutors and our law enforcers, because it's very usual, no, for the NBI or the PNP na may hulihin na powerful, and yung powerful na yung babalik na rin sila at gagamitin nila yung pera nila, no, para balik na rin yung kaso. If the case is not high profile, nakakalimutan na to. 10 years later, wala na sa kulungan yung hinuli na drug lord or whatever, pero yung hamak na NBI agent, police or anti-drugs, may kaso pa rin kasi walang abogado minsan na pinoprovide yung gobyerno. So one way that the foreign countries deal with that really is by making sure that the accused cannot use money illegally to influence his case, no. Let me skip, ma'am, to another topic. Isa po sa accusation sa gobyerno ngayon is that ginagamit tong pork barrel scam against yung mga kalaban lang ng administrasyon. I know you responded to that in media, but let me give you a chance to very briefly, how would you respond to that accusation?
Hindi po totoo yan. Siguro ganyan ang sinasabi ng ilan na nagtatarget kami ng opposition simply because yung nauna nga ho namin na mga na-file ng kaso ay mga opposition. Hindi po namin kasalanan yon dahil yun nga, yung mga kaso ho dun sa tatlong senators, ito po yung mga pinakauna talagang nabuo ng NBI. Dahil talaga naman po, yung tatlo ang lumabas na napakarami nung nakuha PDAF using Napoles NGOs. At yan po ang mga sinasabi ng mga whistleblowers at duly backed up by the documentary evidence. So hindi po namin yun sinasadya na yun sila pong tatlo ang nauna. Kasi sila nga pong tatlo ang meron, nakakuha kaagad kami ng sapat na ebidensya na malinaw po para sa amin.
Tama ba, ma'am, na nagkaroon kayo ng informal category? Narinig ko sa inyong, sa isang hearing natin, no? Sabi nyo, one, yung paulit-ulit na naglagay sa mga either fake NGOs o sa mga agencies na kung saan naging laganap ang graph. Number two ay merong paper trail, maging COA report o kung anuman paper trail. At number three, may whistleblower. So you're saying yung mga naunang nag-file, hindi nyo tinignan dyan whether opposition, administrasyon, kakampi, kalaban ng gobyerno. Kung hindi, because nag-fall dito sa tatlong categories.
Certainly, tama po kayo.
Okay. Having said that, ma'am, as I said, I have some concerns, no? Ako, supportive ako dun sa, ang ginawa ko ngang acronym is RIP eh. Hindi rest in peace yun, kung hindi reveal, investigate, prosecute. No? Okay. But in revealing and investigating, bago mag-prosecute, ang assumption sa prosecution, and not persecution, sa prosecution, is that you have a reasonable belief that a crime was committed and that the person you are charging committed the crime. Has probably committed the crime.
The person being charged is probably guilty,
Okay.
or is probably
So,
responsible.
having said that, ma'am, we know that for ordinary citizens, their liberty, is important, and you do not want to accuse someone or someone to be put in jail that is innocent, no? And there are remedies under the law. But for public figures, for you as a cabinet secretary, for me as a senator, mga congressman, hindi lang liberty ang tinitignan namin, pati reputation. So that's my other concern, no? Parang lahat ng agencies ngayon mabilis, pati ang media maglabas ng kung sinong kasama, hindi kasama sa list. And I understand that and I support. Sa media, pagka may nagsabi, kailangan nila i-report. Sa inyo, pag may nag-submit, wala naman kayong choice. Kami naman ang nagsupina sa inyo na ilabas yung listahan. To be fair to you, sinabi mo, i-vet nyo muna, no? But having said that, ma'am, let me give you an example. And I asked this dun sa CA hearing on the COA, no? Yun naman pong Louis hard disk, 10 months na naman pala pula sa inyo, eh. So tinanong ko sa COA, sabi kasi ng COA, i-vet daw nila, no? So sabi ko, within 10 months or how much time you need, hindi ba fair din naman na kung meron kayong finding sa ilang tao na hindi to totoo or hindi kompleto or wala, may announce din. Of course, you'll get flack. But whatever you do, ma'am, as long as you tell the truth, you'll get flack, eh. Di ba? But isn't it also fair, no, to people being dragged into it? So tinanong ko sa COA kanina, ang dami lumabas na pangalan. Halimbawa, yung Villar, yung Zamora, and myself, na hindi naman PDAF yun, eh. It was with an agency and we didn't have anything to do with that agency and they just gave it to the districts, no? Pero naghihintay pa rin kami kung sinong tatayo para magsalita na hindi PDAF yan, wala silang sulat and everything. If we answer self-serving, I'll give you another example that I gave in another hearing, ma'am, so that you can respond. Secretary Butchabad. Okay. To be fair to him, no, after he was accused, I was listening for his answer. Hindi ko alam yung sagot niya. But when he came out sa show ni Miss Pinky Webb, no, napaka-simple na napaka-logical na sinabi ni Secretary Abad. Sabi niya, yung sinabing electric co-op sa Batanes never received that 10 million. And the 10 million was never issued to me and there's no such thing. And for me, it's a simple, understandable answer. This is the problem. He's answering for himself at siya ang head ng DBM. So some people won't believe or some people na mga abogado din or makukulit, nasa iyo dokumento, eh. But if either DOJ or COA went out and said, we checked our records, there is no SARO, there is no JARO, there is no release to this agency without saying whether he's guilty or not, ma'am, no? So the COA took note of this and I want to bring this all up also to the DOJ. I mean, some people think that the job of DOJ is to prosecute. Some people forget that you're not the Department of Prosecution. You're the Department of Justice. So can I, as a sub-question, can I elicit this answer from you that the job of the DOJ is justice. Meaning kung inosente ang tao, trabaho nyo rin sabihin na walang ebidensya dyan o inosente, etc. Pero kapag ka siya naman ay guilty, come hell or high waters, ano nyo na, habulin sila. Kahit maapektuhan man ang confirmation mo.
You're absolutely correct, Your Honor, that our department is the Department of Justice. And when we say justice, it's not just a matter of really prosecuting and putting people to jail. It's a matter of first determining the truth and second determining whether one or some people should be held liable and be punished for those crimes or violations of laws. No, kaya nga po may tinatawag tayong PI or preliminary investigation. Kasi pagkakatapos po ng isang fact-finding or evidence gathering, may isang level na magsasabi na doon na niya titingnan kung may batayan ba o may basehan na kailangan sampahan ng kaso sa korte ang isang respondent. Kasi nga, kung wala naman, then it is the sworn duty also of the prosecutors to dismiss the case because you are not supposed to subject anyone from malicious prosecution. Kung wala naman
Let me agree totally with you then, ma'am, but there's a little bit of a problem there when it comes to PDAF cases. Because in PDAF cases, the DOJ is not allowed to hold the PI because it's under the jurisdiction of the Ombudsman. So what will happen right now, and I'm not questioning it, ma'am, I know these are extraordinary circumstances. We can always second guess you, and you've been second guessed, but you know, whatever you do, there'll be criticism. But having said that, ma'am, precisely what I'm looking for is some order. No, it might be unfair to just say it's a DOJ's responsibility. It's also Senate's responsibility, Congress' responsibility, the media's responsibility. But on the part of the DOJ, no, ma'am, how can you put some order na pag lumabas ang mga listahan dyan? Like tomorrow, if suddenly someone comes out with a list, I looked at the accusations of you of Ms. Sandra Cam, and I not only find it ridiculous, but I find it, you know, why would we even entertain? But, halimbawa, sa media, hindi mo mapipigilan because it's their job to report, no? So if a list comes out tomorrow, naming everyone, halimbawa, na-confirm po kayo today, biglang may lumabas na listahan bukas, na lahat ng sa CA ay binigyan ng pork barrel para pumasa si Secretary De Lima, no? What process will the DOJ take? Para, kasi hindi nga kayo pwede mag-PI, para malaman naman ng publiko kung ano totoo at anong hindi.
Ganito po yun. Matagal na ho namin ginagawa ang sa tingin namin ang tamang gawin. Ano po ba yun? Mula nga ho nang lumabas ito, mula nung reveal sa amin ni Ben Hurloy at yung mga ibang mga whistleblowers, itong kalokohan na ito sa PDAF, ay nag-evidence gathering na nga po kami. Hindi lang ho yung salita nila Ben-Hur, kundi yung mga documents. Kinuha ho namin yun sa mga different agencies like DBM, COA, and the implementing agencies. At kung mapapansin niyo po, never po kami nagpapalabas ng listahan kung hindi pa kami ready to file a case. And in fact, kahit anong kulit sa amin ng media, even po sa hearing, I think you've seen that in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearings, that every time some senators would ask for names, I would refuse to divulge the names sa mga kakasuhan namin. Yan po ang aming ginagawa. Na we are aware of that it's also very difficult to accuse prematurely those who will turn out to be innocent. We should not do that to people kung hindi naman talaga sigurado na merong batayan. Every one of us has reputation to preserve.
Ma'am, let me clarify. Wala akong problema dun sa handling nyo because ako magte-testify, kinukulit namin kayo sa hearing. Muntik na kayo makontempt pero sabi nyo, you cannot reveal the name. So I agree with you 100% doon. So ni-reveal nyo lang nung final nyo, I agree with you 100%. Doon sa under investigation na hindi kayo magko-comment, pabor din ako doon. I mean, I don't see anything wrong that you've done, no, or under the circumstances. Ang question ko, ma'am, or pinupunto ko, paano po yung natapos nyo investigation na wala namang kayo nakita? So hanggang ngayon, isang taon na nangyayari to, ang mga pangalan ng tao natatagtad sa dyaryo, sa radyo, syempre may mga nagpi-PR din, no? Wala man lang ahensya na tumatayo, not to say na inosente, but either sabihin na walang basis o walang ganyan. Are we going to get to that soon, Madam
Yes,
Secretary?
Your Honor. Sa katunayan po, assignment po namin yan galing sa Pangulo na magsasubmit po kami sa kanya, and ongoing nga po yung pag-prepare niyan, magsasubmit po kami sa kanya ng matrix na 3 categories. Yung matrix po na balak na ginagawa namin ngayon at balak namin isubmit in due time sa Pangulo ay yung first category, yun po yung merong sufficient evidence o may batayan. And sigurado kasama na po dun yung mga na-filean na po ng kaso namin at yung mga ipa-file pa po sa next batch or batches. At pag sinabi namin may sufficient evidence, ibig sabihin nun, hindi lang yung sinabi ni Mrs. Napoles. Kasi certainly we are not taking the word of Mrs. Napoles, lalo na hindi pa siya nagbibigay sa amin ng mga supporting documents. Hindi pa ho niya sa amin yan binibigay. Kundi, sufficient evidence in the sense na corroborated din ni Ben-Hur through his own records and also ng mga ibang whistleblowers, and hindi pa ho tapos tayo doon, meron ho talagang mga supporting documents. Ibig sabihin, na-confirm namin na nandyan yung mga SARO, nandyan yung mga related documents like yung mga requests for the release of funds, requests designating Napoles NGOs, MOA with Napoles NGOs, and the implementing agency concerned, and related documents. The COA report. So dun po magfo-fall yung first category. Ibig sabihin may sufficient evidence. Of course, we can never say that the first category are guilty people. It's not for us to say that. It's the court after due process later. Yung second category naman po ay yung nandyan nga yung mga pangalan nila, either or both sa listahan ni Mrs. Napoles and ni Ben-Hur Luy, pero wala pa kaming nakikitang sapat na batayan. Kasi mukhang wala pa yung mga dokumento, nahihirapan kaming kunin yung mga dokumento o kulang-kulang at hindi sapat para sabihin na pwede na silang kasuhan. Meron din po kaming third category. Yung third category, yun po yung mga sa tingin namin ay fabrication. Walang-wala. Kasi wala kami nakita man lang na ebidensya o wala man lang kami nakitang batayan, lalo na kung sinabi lang ito ni Mrs. Napoles at hindi kinocorroborate ni Ben-Hur o kaya talagang walang mga dokumento na wala man lang ng SARO. So how can they ever be seen as involved also in this scam kung in the first place wala nga silang PDAF project?
Let me clarify the third category, ma'am. So ibig sabihin may ebidensya pero tingin nyo hindi mag-hold up yung ebidensya dahil either peke yung ebidensya or mababaw or whatever. Yun yung third
second category po yung ganun insufficient.
Okay, insufficient. Yung third, ma'am, sabi nyo fabricated.
Fabricated.
Meaning frame up yung tao na yun.
Na gawa-gawa lang.
Okay.
For some reason, dinadawit lang kahit wala naman talagang basis.
So my next question, ma'am, if you're going to submit it to the President, will this also be submitted to the public?
I guess
kasi babalik tayo, ma'am, dun sa sa sinasabi na nililinis yung listahan, ganito, ganyan, and everything. So I'm trying to find some sanity, to an insane situation that you cannot blame one person or one institution, except of course for those who perpetuated this fraud. If they didn't do it in the start, di ba? Wala to lahat. But having said that, nandito na tayo sa sitwasyon na to, hindi naman pwedeng araw at gabi na police lang pinag-uusapan natin. Di ba?
Yun na nga po, akala po kasi ng mga tao, yan na lang ang ginagawa namin po eh. Ang dami pa po namin mga ginagawa. But within, as far as we're concerned, within within our resources and our powers, we're trying to really determine the truth.
Well,
So, yun na nga lang, parang wala na ho talaga.
Well, last two, ma'am, na follow-up no. Then I'll yield to the chair and mag-alas 12 na rin po, no. So, ma'am, ano ang proseso ngayon pagka may mga lumalabas na pangalan? For example, no, yesterday, nanonood ako ng TV, nakita ko si Congressman Erice. At pinagtatanggol niya Liberal Party at sinasabi niya, ba't hindi na lang sumagot ang mga Binay kung totoong may, I listed it down from the news report, no? Kung totoong naglagay ng 15 million sa gabay sa Pag-asa Foundation, kung naglagay ng 12 million sa Livelihood Development Corp, at kung naglagay ng 12.6 million si Congresswoman Abby Binay sa isang foundation na tatay niya at kapatid niya nandun, no? Again, the same problem. Kung inosente sila, ang mga Binay, no? Kawawa naman sila. Dinudungisan ng pangalan dahil sabi nila 2016. Pero kung totoong may nilagay na ganito na pondo, nasaan ba ang mga ahensya na pwede magsabi? Ba't hindi sabihin ng DBM? Ba't hindi sabihin ng COA? O ba't hindi sabihin ng DOJ na, tama, meron pondong nilagay dyan, pero iniimbestigahan pa namin? Yun ang point ko, ma'am. Sasabihin ng dyaryo, wag naman ang sagot nyo, politika lang yan. On the other hand, parang nawawala yung mga agencies na pwede mag-verify man lang. And I'm not saying it's easy, ha? Sinabi ko sa COA yung kanina. Kaya I know that the confirmation of Commissioner Heidi Mendoza is being held up precisely because nagkaroon ng finding ng 430 million na anomalous transaction sa City of Makati, no? But she's not afraid of it. That was her job, eh. So, ma'am, that's another example. Kahit kami, halimbawa bukas, may naglabas sa dyaryo, may finding kay Senator Cayetano nung konsehal pa siya, nung vice mayor pa siya, na ganito. What agency can I go to? Paano kung hindi mag-hearing ang Blue Ribbon Committee, no? To at least certify this, or kahit hindi kayo magsalita, certification man lang. So if I write, for example, DOJ to ask na, ma'am, is this true, or to COA, should I be given an answer, at least in writing? So not to put the DOJ or your spokesperson or USEX or yourself on the spot, no? But to give some sanity naman na sa mga ganito, no? Si Congressman Bagaching, I saw sa newspaper, nag-file ng libel case, ng perjury case, dahil under oath yung sinabi ni Mr. Pauls, and I feel for him. Ang problema, gaano katagal yung perjury case na yon, hindi lalabas yon, di ba? So, I think you could understand, ma'am, from a point of view of a person seeking justice, not only ipakulong ang guilty, pero, di ba may legal adage nga tayo, tinuturo sa law school yan, no? I think galing din sa Amerika na better to set 1,000 guilty people free than to jail one who is innocent. That's not that applicable sa Philippines because we really want to jail all those who are guilty. But, still true, di ba? Yung guilty. And problema ng mga politiko, ng mga nasa media, minention na yung mga nasa media, mga judges, no? May minention na mga judges o Sandigan Bayan na supposedly malapit kay Ms. Napoles, no? Ang problema nila, hindi yung kaso, eh. Ang problema yung reputation, no? And we're looking for some logical mechanism where at least people with an open mind can see. Yung mga naniniwala na mabait ka, naniniwala na magnanako ka, wala na tayong magagawa doon. But at least the great majority of the Filipino people who just wants to find out, no? In the same manner, ma'am, di ba, pagka ikaw employer, hindi mo kilala yung empleyado, ano sabihin mo? Kuha ka ng NBI clearance. So at least I can rely on the clearance na walang kaso tong tao na to. Hindi ko pa rin alam kung magnanakaw siya o hindi, but at least may certificate ako na wala siyang kaso, no? Do you see that in the near future, no, after all these investigations, or at least before the term of the president, no, it will become clear, di ba, as a process will become clear, that people will be able to verify. And I'm not defending myself. Sa akin, sabi ko, ilabas lahat ng saro, labas lahat ng sulat ko para makita ng tao, pero hindi rin nilalabas, eh. So hindi rin malalaman ng tao kung nagsasabi ng totoo, hindi, Madam Secretary.
Yes, we can always propose some measures. We can always propose some mechanisms by which to address concerns like that. Definitely, you have a very, very valid concern. We're trying to balance transparency, the public's right to know, and also respect rights, individual rights. I'm sure there is a good balance, an ideal balance. And that dun pa rin po sa usapin ng bakit kami ay maingat din kami na hindi kaagad-agad kami nagsasabi ng mga pangalan until we're ready to really file cases. Because we know that in other jurisdictions nga po, criminal investigations are a species or a category of where you can invoke privilege. Executive privilege, because investigators and the DOJ are all part of the executive branch of government, and there is a species of executive privilege where, when something is under criminal investigation, there should not be disclosures of information because it would affect the flow of the progress of the investigation. Kaya nga lang po, because transparency and the openness of Philippine society. We have one of the freest, if not the freest, media around the world. And is that a bad thing? No, not at all. It's still the preferred scheme of things than an oppressive society. So I'm sure pag tapos na po ito lahat, ay pwede ho tayo makapag...
Anyway, ma'am, I will just appeal to your sense of justice because I know you have inside of you what drives you is to do the right thing, no? Rather than hold up your confirmation now. But I'm not willing to wait until mag-end. Kasi remember, Napoles is what? Napoles foundations and NGOs are just like 15-20% of the COA report. And the COA report is only 2007 to 2009. I mean, I think you can be given a second, third term sa DOJ, meaning until 2028, maaaring hindi pa rin matapos yung mga anomalya, big and small, not only in the Napoles pork barrel. I always say, and to give credit to our colleagues, ang pork barrel po ay 1% ng budget. So kung maraming nahanap na corruption sa 1%, can you imagine the corruption sa 99%? No? And Malampaya is one example which you've already filed, no? But for my final question, ma'am, just the concept. I have a little bit of a problem in the present process, no? Because kung ang police or ang NBI ang mag-file ng kaso, ang tingin ng tao, sila lang nag-imbestiga nun, no? And let's see kung ano sabihin ng husgado. Pero pag DOJ ang nag-file ng kaso, ang nasa mind ng tao at ng media ay nagkaroon na ng preliminary investigation and probably guilty itong mga to, no? But in the case that
Mga kapuso, yan po ang pagpapatuloy ng pagdinig ng Commission on Appointments kay DOJ Secretary Laila De Lima. At isa nga sa mga napag-usapan nila ay ang sistema ng pagkalat ng ebidensya patungkol sa pork barrel scam. At sa ating pagkakaalam nga, isa itong confirmation hearing pero nasentro yung kanilang pag-uusap sa PDAP scam. Kung sinabi nga nitong si Secretary De Lima na hindi raw sinasadya ng DOJ na maunang kasuhan yung tatlong senador na kilalang nasa oposisyon dahil sila raw partner yung naunang nabuo yung mga ebidensya laban sa kanila.